Hello and welcome to another Watercolor Wednesdays. This video is a tutorial on painting a flower with kind of a modern looking background. So if you have not painted along with me before, this is a chance where you can paint along, or you can watch the video to try it again later. The supplies you'll need for this painting are paints in purple, yellow, green, and blue. You could also have a red if you wanted to mix your own purple. I used two brushes, a small round brush and a medium flat brush. It was about a ½ inch, I believe. And watercolor paper. For this particular painting, I'm actually doing a smaller paper, and the template that I provided on the Google Drive link is actually 8.5 by 11, but you could very easily shrink that down or draw your own if you wanted to do smaller paper as well. And the flower template, which is available on Google Drive. So after tracing the outline for this painting, I started by getting my purple paint that I'm going to use for the petals. And the petals in this flower are numerous because I wanted it to look like those daisy style wildflowers that are really bright purple and just open up big towards the sun. And I'm outlining the bottom part of each petal with the most pigmented amount of paint. And then as I get towards the middle, I go ahead and rinse the brush, and then I use the water to pull the rest of the color up towards the outermost edge of the petals. Because this effect, it creates such a wetness on the paper, I don't want to paint in the petals directly next to it, otherwise all my purples are just going to bleed together and my petals aren't going to be as defined. So instead I use the technique on the next petal, skipping every other one. And I'm just going to continue in this way, adding the pigment closest to the center of the flower and adding water as you expand out into the petal to give that gradiated effect. And I'll continue doing this on every other petal and then going back in and getting the petals that I missed. Now for the center of the flower, I am going to add a little bit of a brown color. So to make brown, I am just going to darken up this yellow in some of the leftover purple. And the purple here gives the brown kind of a cooler color, and so it matches the same kind of tone that we already have going in the rest of the painting. Once I have a color I like, I load it up onto the brush and start dotting it through the center of the flower, and I'm not getting every single space filled in by this brown, but more just kind of creating a speckled background. Now for the green of the stem, I'm using a cooler green, again to match the tone that we have going in the flower already. And also in keeping with the theme of the painting, I'm doing a gradation effect. So I'm adding the pigment of the green to the top of the stem and then pulling it through with lots of water. And as I do this, I'm getting naturally occurring areas of light and dark, which matches quite nicely with the light and dark contrast in the petals of the flowers as well. And I'm going to do the same effect just on the leaves by kind of giving this dark green pigment effect down one side and then using water to really pull it across and create that nice texture. After finishing the leaves and the stems, I go back in with a little bit brighter yellow over top of the brown centers, and I use the dot technique again to kind of fill in all the places where you can still see some of the white. This also gives the center of the flower a speckled texture to make it look like there's actually the texture that would be in the center of a daisy. And finally, I will start doing the background of this painting. So because this is a fairly modern style painting and the look that I'm going for is very simplistic and easygoing, I am going to just kind of do a really rough background where I'm not going to blend it all out and get really smooth edges like I have on previous paintings, and instead just going to do these horizontal strokes back and forth with different amounts of the blue paint so that it's stronger in some areas and a lot lighter in value in other areas. And I feel like this is going to just give it a more modern look to the whole painting. And there you have it, a quick watercolor sketch of some wildflowers. This painting is really fun to do, and it's be neat to mix and match with different color flowers and backgrounds and even different types of flowers if you wanted to get adventurous with that. And it's something that would be really pretty. It could be on the front of a Mother's Day card or any just kind of little note card, and just nice to see where you could add a little bit of color to your day.
Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. If you painted along, comment below to tell me how it went. And if you feel like sharing, send me your painting photos on Instagram and I'll share them on my feed. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the Watercolor Wednesday tutorials. Click the link in the video for last week's tutorial. I post these tutorials every Wednesday and have cool time lapses of these and other projects on Instagram at Tori Makes Art. Thanks for watching!